Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. It is Tuesday and we're gonna do Clues by Sam. We have a medium, so we jump from an easy one to a medium one today, and I'm really excited for this. No yellows for today. I'm tired of my yellows on the evil ones, so I hope next week will be better. But if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is 888 logic puzzle game where we have 20 people. Each of them must be a criminal or an innocent, and you gotta figure out what each person is using the clues that they themselves give you. We are here doing this every day, and you're welcome to play along with me. So there is a link in the description to take you to it if you want to do so, and I'm gonna start mine right now and explain my logic as I go. Let's start. We start with Katie telling us that Mary is one of Noah's 5 innocent neighbors. So where's Noah? Noah is right here to the right of Katie, and he has 8 neighbors total. Mary is one of them, and she is an innocent. Now, 8 of the 5 of the 8 innocent 5 of the 8 neighbors that Noah has are innocents, and Mary says that Katie and Henry have 2 innocent neighbors in common. Katie and Henry have 2 neighbors in common total, so both of them have to be innocents. That leaves Freya as an innocent. We don't need any... Oh, let's leave Katie's here because it tells us about the total for Noah. Freya says that exactly 1 innocent on the edge is in row 3, and that innocent is Katie. She is in row 3 and on the edge, and is an innocent. The other person on the edge in row 3 is Olive, so she's not an innocent. And now Olive says there are exactly 2 innocents to the left of Igor. There's 2 people to the left of Igor, so both of them have to be innocents. That makes Henry an innocent. And that's 2 of Noah's innocent neighbors. So 3 more to find. Henry now says that both criminals above Zara are connected. So there's 2 criminals above Zara. The second one's gonna be either Uma or Joy, because they are the people connected to Olive, who is also above Zara and is already a criminal. But that also says that Ellie is an innocent because she is not connected to Olive and she is above Zara. Olive says, though, that there are exactly 2 innocents to the left of Igor. So where's Igor? Oh, we've read that before, so we don't need that anymore. Ellie says that column B is the only column with exactly 2 innocents. So we know about the 2 innocents in column D. It's Ellie, the first of them. The other one's either gonna be Joy or Uma. That means that Zara couldn't be an innocent. She's also in column D. Sarah now says that everyone has at least 1 criminal neighbor. How does that work? It works with Austin. Austin has to have 1 criminal neighbor and he only has 1 neighbor left, so Betty has to be that criminal neighbor. Now Betty says that Freya and her have only 1 innocent neighbor in common, and that's Henry. Because Freya and Betty share 2 neighbors actually, and only one of them is an innocent, so the second one has to be a criminal. Now Austin says that row 1 is the only row with exactly 1 innocent, which makes Derek a criminal because we already have 1 innocent in row 1. And Derek says that there are more innocents in row 3 than row 4. So one thing I'm doing is leaving Zara's and Austin's clues here because they might help us later when we need to remind ourselves that, like, if we see someone that possibly doesn't have any clues saying their name, they might have a disambiguation coming from one of... Why do we have a koala here? Now I saw the koala. Well, it's the only animal in the world. Interesting. So sometimes I'm a bit confused, but I find it funny. Derek says there are more instances in row 3 than 4. So we know that each row has at least 1 innocent, but only 1 row has... Do we know that each row has at least 1 innocent? We don't. We don't actually. Because it might be that row 5 or row 4 doesn't have any innocents. And in that case, row 3 would already have more innocents than row 4. But the thing is, Noah can only have 3 neighbors who are criminals at most. And if there were no innocents in row 4, then both Steve and Tina would be criminals and Noah would have 4 criminal neighbors. So we know for sure that row 4 has 2 instances. And why does it have 2? Because row 1 is the only one with 1 instance, so it couldn't have 1. That means that row 3 has to have 3 instances to have more than row 4. Noah has to be an instant then. Noah now says that Betty has exactly 3 instant neighbors. The third one could only be Igor, so he has to be an instant. And now we know that the third instant neighbor for Noah is either the koala or Tina. And what clue do I not need anymore? Noah's, Henry's, Betty's, and Derek's. Oh, I do need Derek's, I think. Because I still don't know about Pip. Igor says that exactly 1 instant in row 5 is neighboring Pip. So either Vince or Wanda are an instant. And since we know that row 5 couldn't have only 1 instant because row 1 is the only one with 1 instant, then Xavier has to be the second instant in that row. And Xavier now says there's an equal number of criminals in rows 2 and 3. And we know that row 3 has 3 instances and 1 criminal. So row 2 has to have 1 criminal too. Joy is a criminal then, that makes Uma an innocent. And now we know about the 2 instances in row 4. So Pip has to be a criminal actually. Yeah, I don't need this anymore, or this. Or this, do I? I don't. Xavier now says there's an equal number of criminals in rows 2 and 3, so we read that and we act on that. Since we now know that everyone has at least 1 criminal neighbor, see what I said about things coming back? No clue is talking about Zara, but we know that Zara has to have a criminal neighbor. And Tina has to be that criminal neighbor, so that makes Steve an innocent, the koala. And we know something about rows, and we know something about columns, right? We know that column B is the only column with exactly 2 instances, so I should have left Ellie's clue not dismissed as well, because it tells us about column A that couldn't have 2 instances only, so we need a third one, and that third one can only be events. That makes one a criminal, and we are done. No yellows. Okay, a good one. It took me some time because I had some explaining to do there, but a pretty nice one, good mechanics. And yeah, we're back to schedule tomorrow, so video is gonna go up a little earlier tomorrow. Sorry about these lates. Why did my thing go down when I clicked it? Oh. But yeah, I'm gonna be back tomorrow earlier with more clues by Sam, so I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.